Trigger warning. The following content may discuss sensitive topics such as mental health, abuse, violence. Please proceed with caution and take care of yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, it's okay to step away.
Both of you.
Oh, go on then. How are you doing?
Right. Who does this man think he is?
Do you know what?
Can I just tell you, Zach, first of all, I don't think any man should threaten a woman, right? I don't. And I don't think a woman should threaten a man. However...
Yeah, vice versa.
Vice versa, yeah. However, these people stood by Frankie when they threatened me. And because they have a dislike for me, they praised him. They did not say anything.
Exactly. And what I'm doing, I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of everyone. And... It's obviously I can choose my words better, but when I'm passionate, I just speak as me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and listen, that's fine, but I can't call what you did out when they stand by a man that did the same thing.
Yeah,
oh my God, thank you.
Ah, shit. My point I was saying, right? This was the point I was saying.
You do that, thank you. Sorry.
This is the point I was trying to say. So I was saying, you have people that speak on their experiences of DV and play the, like men and women. But when I say it on a public scale in boxes and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's a terrible experience. I get it. I'm not invalidating anyone. But sometimes people do trauma dump and make stuff up, X, Y, and Z. Yeah. But then at the same time, they can be equally as aggressive, equally as toxic, equally as emotionally manipulative. So you kind of question yourself, because it's like you can push someone that can just not just assault you, but what I mean is like when they gaslight you into a reaction, you give them, and then they play the victim. So it makes me question the circumstances of how.
And I spoke on that the other day that a man or a woman, because it can work both ways, can actually push someone to breaking point when they do react, not in the best way, but they can react. And I was talking about there are some women, like for example, can I just use this as an example where you're in a relationship with a woman, right? And she won't let you leave, and she's in your face constantly. She won't let you leave, or what are you meant to do? I'm not saying that no man should lash out ever. I'm not saying that, but sometimes a woman can push you to a limit where they actually kind of some women.
If you flip it this way, I said earlier. Oh, pardon you, poopsies. I said earlier. Do you know what it is? If the people in the comments all like, rah, 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 Zac's out of order, Zac's this, Zac's that. Guaranteed a lot of people in the comments, if a man was pushing a woman mentally with comments and she slapped him around the face, yes, you be strong, yes, you got him, blah, blah, blah. But if it was the opposite way round, automatically, boom, no question.
I've heard, you know what, Zac? A woman say to a man that she wanted him to hit her. Yeah, go and hit me. Hit me. I'm not saying he should have, don't get me wrong, but would I keep him hostage? My God, I've heard of that. It was like, I can't remember what I was reading about it now. And she wanted it to happen because she wanted the house. And she wanted to be able to go to the police and say he did this and that to her, where she actually tortured the guy. Yeah. I'm not saying he should have hit her. I'm not saying that because he did. I'm talking about the once. I'm not talking about continuously hit her.
No, 100%.
But the torture that she gave him, and that's something I read, and I thought, you know what, I would have hit her.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
When people talk about DV, right, people just associate it with physical, and it's not. There's so many ways to it, but people just keep to the easy subject to talk about, which is just the physical thing. Whereas if we're going to talk about it and educate and awareness and speak on it, do it properly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Out of it.
Because what are the lads going to do? What are the lads? I've been invalidated so many times about my own abuse and all that. I don't sit there and cry about it, but I saw a podcast and it was like, where do the geezers go for a refuge? And then you got geezers like that Simon going, oh, where's the real...
You know what, Zac? Can I tell you one thing? Not so long, I'm talking about the 90s. I know, I say not so long, when I think, it's a long time ago. This man, it was based on a true story, and I watched it, and I thought, wow, he was being hit by his wife. He had a kid, right? And he felt he couldn't leave. He phoned up the hotline, and they hung up on him because he was a man.
And it's
that was only in the 90s.
So say like with the stuff that I've been through. I've had very narcissistic, toxic friends, right? And those two that said I scammed them back in the day, right? I was in a very vulnerable position myself, but people wouldn't accept that because I'm a man, right? So if a woman came to the app and said X, Y, Z, people would automatically not listen to, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. But then if a man says it about a woman, and I said, oh, I experienced this, X, Y, and Z. No, you didn't, you know? But if a woman said the man did, the man would get attacked straight away.
Whereas I know that I'm talking about 30 years ago, it's a long time ago, but what I'm saying is, you know,
MVP,
that's how it used to be with me growing up.
Classy Rachel, Emily, Deck, Shannon, and that's what I'm saying.
So much. Thank you, Gabby. Where's Jojo gone? She's not on my list. Thank you, Jojo.
People sitting there going, oh, Zach thinks because he's a gay man. Like, what's my sexuality got to do with my opinions? Like, that's just showing me how thick you are. My sexuality is not
I think what it is, there are some people, I'm not giving names, that are GAY, that feel they get away with abusing people because of their sexuality, and I think they're probably putting you in that same bracket, that same person as other people that do that.
Like, man, my sexuality is not my personality.
No, it's not, but I think some people feel they do get away with it because of their sexuality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'm women's biggest supporters. You know, people, just because I don't speak about my life 24/7 doesn't mean you don't know what I've been through or what I've seen my friends go through and the stuff I've had to witness. You know. So
yeah, you're a little bit laggy. Are you outside?
Is that my? Oh, fuck's sake!
Oh, there you are. There you are again.
Yeah, I've just gone outside. But like I say, everything needs the same energy. So.
Yeah, I don't think any man should threaten a woman. Like, I'm a true believer, though. If a woman hits a man should never
like Chippy McChips.
Yeah, but Zac, I'm still a believer that a man should never hit a woman, even if she hits him first. I just think, you know, go down the correct channels, you know, and report it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
but however, I'm just calling out hypocrisy, to be honest.
A girl spat in my face once. It's the last thing she ever did.
Oh. Zac!
Yeah.
Don't say that to me.
No, but it's true. Like, listen, no. I'm not allowing people to violate me, my body and my space. So it's not the case.
A lot of people will agree with you on that. A lot of people do agree with you, but I can't. I've always been, no matter what, you never raise your hand to a woman. But
what's that? Never give up.
I don't know.
Where's the pick?
Things have changed. Do you?
Oh, I didn't let her. I grabbed her out and put her to the floor and told the bouncers. It's a reflex. But that's me being through like years of trauma.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose I don't know. Things have changed. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can you screenshot it and send it to my Insta for me, doll? What is it of? What's it of? Come on,
that is quite disgusting though. Someone spits in your face. I'm not gonna lie. I think you know what it is though.
Never give up. What's the picture?
I think it just looks worse when a man does it to a woman. You know what I mean?
What's the picture?
The majority of DV cases are man on a woman, right? So it does look a lot worse when a man does hit a woman.
Yeah, that's true. What would you do if a woman put a knife up to you?
Oh, well, that's different. It's self-defense, isn't it?
You know?
Yeah, I'm not saying don't use self-defense. I'm just saying if I hit you, right, so if I slapped you, I don't expect you to slap me back, but what I do expect is a police case. I do expect
there's a lot of people that would probably be outraged by the conversation, but what would you do if your son was getting battered, like parents in the chat? What would you do if your son was getting battered by his girlfriend? What would you do if your son was getting battered by his girlfriend? Your boy.
No, but I'm only saying if I came and just slapped you, if I hit you, I'm not saying battered.
Oh no, yeah.
That's a good question though. Yes, you defend yourself, right?
You know?
Yeah. You know what? You are right. You are right. I think, you know what?
We need to have these conversations because I do encourage people to open their minds a bit because sometimes the app is very small-minded and people don't look at the bigger picture.
You know what it is, though, Zac? I've been brought up, though, no man should ever hit one woman, even if she hits him back. He can go report it to the police and everything else. But you know what? Now thinking, you know, things have changed and, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. I just don't like men hitting
a lot of people say don't weaponize mental health, weaponize this, but don't weaponize your gender.
Yeah, but then thinking, like you said, if I had a son, I'd probably say, well, you hit her back.
And over the last couple of years...
I probably will be saying it.
Over the last couple of years, some of the mental stuff that I've been put through, the manipulation, the narcissism, has been by women. Like, my life has been made hell. Like, legit. Like, I have been abused like you'd never believe. Like, my life has been dissected, torn apart, all because they have a dislike because I set boundaries.
Yeah, but if I had a son, I'd teach him to go to the police and go down the proper channels. And
I'd never raise my kids to be violent anyway. But at the same time, it's these people that you can't... I'd never use violence, ever. That's not even a resort, you know? So when you get creators on and go, oh, I'm going to do it. I said I'll take people's face off, X, Y, Z, but that's me reacting and letting you know that if you come to my yard and cross my boundaries, it's game on. I don't give a shit. But 9 times out of 10, I'm very much capable of having an argument with my tongue, you know, because I can make someone feel small like that.
Yeah. Listen, can I just say though, Zac, I know a lot of women that are very manipulative and, oh my God, they torture their husbands, their partners and things. But
it is a tough one. I think there's different generations involved in the episode. It's like, but it's all about educating each other, isn't it? And like, this is the thing that annoyed me is that, again, it was a 30-second clip that people are like, and I think, come on now, you're all grown-ass adults. That was part of an hour-and-a-half live where we were talking about narcissism, toxic behaviours. And it was a very good live, actually. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, you get the next guys in that use that and go, yeah, use that, and that'll cancel it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Literally, like, you got a grown-ass man that's doing content just for domestic abuse survivors, which I think is highly inappropriate. Do you know what I mean? Because I just feel like you're using their trauma to build up your platform, you know, when, you may disagree with it, but at the same time, you can't say, make content of something you've never experienced, you know? And if you have experienced it as a man, then why aren't you doing content for men about DV? You know, I just find it a bit creepy.
Yeah, a lot of men do suffer DV, but they don't talk on it.
Yeah, and do you know what? A
lot of men do.
More men unalive themselves yearly.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah. It's very high.
They've got nowhere to turn. But where's the empathy for that? Where's the discussions? There's not.
I just think that men don't talk about it.
I've been criminalised. I've had my fucking reputation shattered. You know?
Yeah. But the thing is, though, Zac, men don't talk about it, so no one can help a man if they don't talk on it.
If
they don't go to the police and report it. What can people do?
Never give up. What do you want the box for, love?
Yeah, men don't talk about it. They really don't, and women do. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, Zac. You know, when I used to go clubbing and to pubs, I'd see it. A woman slap a man across the face. He's done something. I don't know what he's done. I would ignore it. I would walk past, or I'd be like, oh. But
can you send it? If
I see a man hit a woman, I'll be like, oh. You know what I mean? It would be a different reaction. I'm not going to lie. But it doesn't.
Never give up. Can you send it to my Instagram? It's Zac the Brat.
Do you get what I'm saying, guys?
Send it to the email in my bio.
Do you get what I'm saying, guys? It's like a man hits a woman. It's like, oh my God. But a woman does it to a man. We don't have that same reaction.
Exactly.
We don't.
Thank you, guys. Big up, Blake. Big up.
Ooh. Yeah, I've seen it. A woman push a man, hit a woman, going out. And you really don't have that same reaction. We should. I think absolutely we should, Donna. But that's just growing up. You just think a man should never hit a woman, and that's it, simple. But you never really thought about a woman hitting a man. You know, it wasn't really spoken about a lot. Male DV in men doesn't get spoken about a lot, and that's a problem. You're making excuses for what he said. I don't even know. Can I ask you a question, Zac?
What I said was totally taken out of context. I said, so basically the point I was making, and I never said man or women. I would like to see the clip where I said you can't blame men for smacking a woman in the mouth. Show me the clip. Show me the clip where I named the genders. We were talking specifically because I don't speak with one gender. I see everyone as a soul, you know. So what my point I was trying to make is what you see on the app is people making themselves to be so feeble and weak, yet when they're in boxes and having rows, they've got the balls in and they display such narcissistic traits. It makes you wonder what actually went on behind closed doors to make someone react like that. It makes you question, you know? Does that make sense?
I mean, there are women that would torment a man.
Yeah.
You know, that where it's like they'll torment it for a reaction. But however, if there's no torment there, and because I know that some women can do that. However, if there's none of that there, then no man should ever hit a woman. I'm not saying a man should hit a woman anyway, but what I was trying to say yesterday, you can be pushed to the edge where you do snap. But that's completely different to DV. I'm not talking continuous, you know what I mean? I'm talking about snapping.
This is how small it is with the app, because people don't talk about it as there's so many categories, but everyone just sticks to the one, you know. Everyone just assumes it's just the man versus the woman, but it's both sides. There's so many, you know. And for what you come on social
no woman deserves to be smacked.
No,
like I said, if there was a woman that torments, what I was trying to say the other day, if a woman does torment you, where, you know, and I've seen this, I really have seen this, and a woman can torment, and a man snaps. I think it's completely different to a DV situation, or where a man just decides to hit her because she's annoying him. You know, and this is what I was trying to explain the other day. But no man should ever raise their hand towards.
Oh no, that's not me. Never give up. That's not me, darling. The natural teeth. But no, I just think, you know, it's like it's hard sometimes because you can't argue with stupid. You know what I mean? So, and if people are, I will not listen to anyone's opinions of what I said if you weren't in the live, and you know. Can
I ask you a question though? You know, talking about this, would you say, what about, you know, when you said some women deserve to be slapped right by a man? What about if
I never said that.
What did you say?
Everyone else was saying.
Right. Oh, okay. But what do people think about if it was a woman that abused animals or children, or what if it was a woman like that? Would you not? Because I think she deserves to be slapped by a man. I'm not going to lie. You know, if a woman was abusing animals or children.
Big up, Blake.
Yeah. What if you found out the mother?
Hey, go on, Blake. You fucking legend.
Let's turn this around a little bit, though, Zac. What if you found out the mother of your, you know, say your girlfriend was doing things to an animal, abusing an animal, abusing your child?
Steady with
you can't blame a man for doing that.
Big up, Blake. Big up, Charlotte, Natalie, Nicola, Lou, Mel, Nana T, Emma Lou, Tiger, Sarah Jane. You could reel off all the scenarios. There's
a lot of scenarios
there. Think real. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Let me tell you something. Do you remember that guy? What was his name? And I'm going to be very 100% honest here. That put that woman on the ground. He wrestled her to the ground.
Oh, what's his face?
What's his name?
Oh,
what's his name?
Boss Kelly.
Right? A lot of people had a go at me because of my thoughts, and I'm going to stand by this here. Yeah. I don't think a man should ever. That was wrong what he did. Absolutely. However, I will never have sympathy for that woman. Yeah. And in fact, I'm going to say it right now. I don't care what he did to that woman, and I'll tell you why. She abused a dog. She abused an animal. Oh, big up. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. She abused an animal. Yeah. I'm an animal lover. I don't care. You get what I'm saying? People went mental about that comment that I said. I don't care. Any animal abuser shouldn't be walking the streets that I walk on.
Yeah,
it's the same with a child abuser. Yeah, if that was a child abuser, I'd be like, good.
That video was very uncomfortable. Like, I'm not talking about if a woman punched me in the mouth, I'd give her a backhander. I wouldn't punch her back because my strength's hard. No, but I would. Who do you think you are to touch my body?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but thank you, Jim.
I wouldn't punch. Do you know, same as if a man punched me, I'd punch him 10 times harder.
But when you were report it, because that would be the way to go, wouldn't it? Report it. Oh, maybe I'm just old fashioned. I don't know.
If you're good at,
is that what people do these days?
Like, look, fighting for me.
Walk away, innit? Walk away.
I never go to violence. We shouldn't justify women being violent. We shouldn't make excuses for it.
But I don't think a man should hit back either. Unless
the fact that people would justify a man having to walk away from a woman when he hits her, but when you'd celebrate it if a woman fought back the man. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, stand up for yourself, girl. But then, we've just got to walk away. Come on.
I think the only time I'm glad with a woman that was down on the ground, I'm not going to lie, is Boss Kelly.
No.
Because I love animals. You don't abuse animals. You deserve everything you get. I'm sorry. I don't care. And you all went on about Boss Kelly, what he did. Oh, my God, it was disgusting. Oh, poor woman.
But how do we know she did?
She hurt an animal.
How do we know she did? Was that from his words?
I've seen it.
He's got...
Yeah, no, it's on Facebook, Zac. She hurt the animal. I don't care. Like, I can't have sympathy for that. Sorry.
Well, I don't agree with any form of domestic violence within friendships, relationships, anything. I merely just...
Yeah, and he deserves everything he gets if he does that to animals. I'm an animal lover. It's like children. If I find out someone's a pedlo, am I going to be upset that he beat her? I'm not saying it's right, but am I going to be upset he beat her and we find out she's a child abuser?
I know people from the area, and I don't think she did. I know because they don't live far from me, and I honestly think he made that a situation so he could get
I've seen on Facebook. That's on Facebook, Zac. She threw a dog across the room. So I just, you know what, do you get what I'm saying? Everyone's going mad that he did that to her, and I'm like, well, good job. You know, she deserved that. I'm sorry, because she hurt an animal, and he deserves if he hurts animals too. You know, I'm an animal lover. Children are the same. You know, you hurt animals and children, you deserve everything you get in my eyes.
Before I have an opinion on that, I'd have to see it. But as from my stance, in my reality, she didn't deserve that. You know, I haven't seen all that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I understand where you're. I understand. But what I'm trying to get to you is, I think it depends on the scenario, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If someone does something and it's a man, and then you find out they've done something, this is the worst, there's some beast, you're not going to sit there and have sympathy, are you?
I think everyone just needs to be equal, because there's no like hierarchy. There's no one or the other. But like it's like,
if you found out someone was some dirty, scummy pedlo,
like, what would you do if it was in your son's position or your nephew or your son?
If you found out this woman is a dirty, scummy pedlo, you'll be giving him a medal. That's a fact.
He said he'd done that weeks before the dog incident.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know. She's still an animal abuser.
But I didn't agree.
But what I'm saying is, Zac, say if you come across a dirty pedlo, right, a woman, right, because there are pedlos that are women, right, dirty, scummy pedlo, and as a woman, you'd be giving him a medal.
Oh.
If he done something to a woman. If some man got his hands on a woman that was a dirty, scummy pedlo, you'd be giving him a medal.
That's completely different. That's, again, you could make up all the scenarios.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. It depends on the scenario, right?
You know, this is what I mean. This is the grey area. There's a backstory to everything. You know, there's different regions. Yeah. There's so many different scenarios you can make up. You know, so many different scenarios.
Well, I'm just trying to say, Boss Kelly, that situation, when I found out about what the dog incident, you all went for me. Oh my God! So you agree with a man touching a woman? Yes, if she's an animal abuser. Sorry, animals are like children, innit? Animals are babies, man.
But no, I don't condone anything. But what I won't do is have people take my words out of context and put words in my mouth. Because this is what the creators do, right? So they'll play the clip and they'll be like, so what he's saying is this. I never named the genders. I never said man or woman. Like, that never came out of my mouth. And then what other creators do, they come and go, so basically what he's saying, and then they put the words in your mouth and everyone goes, oh, yeah. And that's not the case at all. You know,
I don't care what you think, guys. Anyone that hurts an animal or hurts children and deserves the worst in my eyes. I don't care if it is a man hitting a woman. I don't care. If she's one of those, then that's it.
No, obviously, and I think everyone agrees with that, man or woman, if you hurt children or animals, absolutely. But that's a different conversation.
Animals and children is what we need to protect. Protect at all costs. And so if I say anything, if I know that this woman has done any of that, then I don't care that a man has hit her.
Off with all their heads.
Off with her head. And vice versa.
Yes, Charlotte. If you have no choices.
Totally agree. Well, thank you, Sunshine, yeah.
Right, my love. Anyway, that's been nice watching, Mike. I've got. I need to go and get ready.
See you later, Zach. I'm going to continue my FYP. It's already 2:30.
Bye, I love you.
Well, that was an interesting conversation. Let's get back to the FYP.
To do with that man that stood in the corner just having his pint. He'll still.
Someone has said, "What about the abuse of elderly?" Same thing. Sorry. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying people should go out and do any of this. I'm not saying that. But if they have, and I felt, oh my God, they've just hurt a woman, or oh my God, this, they've hurt da-da-da, and then I find out what they've done. What they've done in their life, like they've hurt an animal or a child. Well, I don't care. That goes with anyone that hurts a child or an animal. And I don't care what gender you are.
They're not.
Because they can't. This is good enough for me.
You said that domestic violence were fine. You said hitting women were fine. That's what.
Right. So unless those exact words came out of my mouth, and I want people to stop doing this, and these words actually came out of my mouth. If I said those words, show me where I said it. Please show me where I said it. That DV is okay. And where did I say it? Stop putting words into my mouth for your audience.
You meant, yeah. Apparently you've been transphobic this morning and stuff, so, yeah. You know what you meant.
I've been transphobic this morning. I'm not transphobic. I love the trans community. I love the black community. You know?
I haven't seen the video, to be fair. I haven't seen it.
Followers who sit in my lives and listen to the whole entirety of what I'm saying, get it? And that's why I have support, because they hear and they get the point, because they've got what? Brains. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. And that's the point.
If anyone's got the video of him saying it, I will play it. But can you send it to me, guys?
You know? Oh yeah.
Did I played it yesterday? I don't think I played it yesterday. Well, send it to me again.
Give it the attention. But yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. You know?
And I was surprised, right? If his community his followers are made up of a lot of women, I'm surprised that any of them women actually justified any of that chat out of his mouth.
You know what? It just makes me sick, right? That Chibi didn't have an opinion for Frankie when he said what he said to me. He supports him. He sits with him. How dare you go for Zac, yeah? When you support someone to the same thing, you have no morals. You have nothing. Don't sit there and make out you have morals, because you don't. Let's face it. You're just doing the FYP and you do not give a shit.
I believe some of the people I was watching comments on. Unbelievable.
Well, you know, some were shocked, some were not. Some got my point. The ones that shocked maybe haven't been watching me long enough and don't get my point. I did do nothing wrong. I need to get in the bath. Right, listen, you lovely lot. I'm going to shoot. I'll keep you updated. I need to go and get in the bath and beautify myself. And then I will see you all later. Yeah. Anyway, I need to take these off, actually, because... Violation detected. End live now. Yeah. Rawr. Let me just take these off. Let me take these off, and then I need to charge my phone. Rach, thank you for the rose. Oh. I'm just going to go and support my best friend on her tour. Evil Cat, thank you. I do apologise if anyone actually did take what I said out of context and you were offended for the short time, but I hope my explanation is very much that, an explanation, and you understand, you know. At the same point, whilst listening to creators condoning violence, make it make sense. You know, you can't have a platform that raises awareness for domestic abuse whilst threatening to punch someone's face in. Like, make it make sense. That Simon's gone very quiet, hasn't he? You know? Very quiet, babe. Simon, where you at now, honey? Where's he at? No? So... Have the best day. Yeah, I need to ring my friend now. I need to get in the bath. Oh, I'm looking forward to this bath. Right, I might do a little live later as well. So I will love and leave you, and I'll see you all later. Bye.